Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, depending on what side of the world you're at. Let me know if you can hear me, y'all. Let me know if you can hear me. I want to make sure everybody can hear me. Shout out to everybody. Thank you for being here. Shout out to you guys. Hey Daisy girl, hey my beautiful member Shauna B. I see you in the chat. Thank you for being here. StreamYard is being kind of wonky, so I apologize if I'm not seeing all the comments. Let me try to log in on my other device. So give me 1 second, okay? Shout out to everybody. Thank you for being here. Hold up, y'all. Let's view my channel. All right, everybody. For the most part, everybody that needs to be here is be here. Hey, everybody. Hey, Beond, welcome. Oh, okay. I absolutely want the merch, and I don't like Mr. Render bobblehead thing on the last mile back. Lord have mercy. You guys are coming in feisty. Hey, Chico. Welcome, everybody. You like the keyboard warrior part? Shout out to everybody. You guys are funny. All right. Let me just start by saying this, okay? Um, I am just giving commentary to a situation. I am not the expert of anything. So please note that. Hi, Nicole. How are you doing, love? Shout out to you, sweetie. Um, I'm not the expert of anything. I'm just giving commentary. One of the things that I do on my channel is I talk about true crime and I give commentary. To tell you a little bit about myself, for those that are new, I worked 10 years in government as a supervising teams, okay, and creating programs from the ground up. So, and I have a master's degree in social work. I've done a lot of field work. I've done a lot of people work. I've done a lot of mediate. I've done a lot of things. All right. Let me just say that. And so, where I pull from as far as giving commentary is just my opinion of what I've experienced being out in the field, right? Um, I do the people's work. That's what social work is the people's work. That's what it is. And so I can do assessments and I can assess things fairly quickly. But then again, that's something that I've been doing for many, many years. And I think it's helped me with my channel. You're Miss, and I'm also very petty too, love. Don't get it twisted. I'm very, very petty too. But it is what it is. And growing up in Scientology, the Aftermath show, Mr. Mike Rinder, all these people, Leah Remini, these are people that, I mean, I remember years back. I think I watched the whole, yeah, I watched the whole Aftermath series, and learned so much from that. And it is crazy to me that here we are in 2023 and there's still so much of these kinds of entities that exist and that tear people down, and they mask themselves in different ways. So for me, it's like I just love giving commentary about things like that. I definitely feel like the experts on this topic is, of course, Aaron, of course, any survivor of Scientology, any ex-members. Who is it? Mr. Sterling. Shout out to him. He came into my comments. You guys check out his channel. I like what I see so far. Is it Relatable Reese? Another wonderful creator. I like what I see so far. Um, I've subscribed over to them as well. Who is it? Is it Mr. Lifeboat? Mr. Lifeboat, another great creator that's giving commentary on this. And a lot of this is just coming for me as an outsider, as a non-Scientologist. I just give my opinion about what's going on. I'm not the expert of anything. I'm not taking sides of anything as well. I just see things for what they are and call it out, right? I truly hope that at the end of the day that whatever organization is what they're going to do, whatever it may be, that it's truly about helping people and bringing awareness. That's it. That's truly whatever, whether it's Aaron decides to, which I think it's fantastic that he's deciding to pioneer a different area, which is awesome. And I truly hope that the Aftermath Foundation does right by the people. Here's the deal. This is what I know. The worst thing that you can do in any organization, the worst thing you can do in a nonprofit is silo people. Scientology or not, there's still a cult like mentality that runs through some organizations, non-Scientologists, all kinds. There's always a cult-like mentality. And the worst thing you can do in such a situation is silo yourself. So I think that the best thing that everybody can do in this situation is pull from what you learn and try to figure out, all right, this is what I've learned from this experience, and I'm not going to do again. And I'm going to seek the opinions of other people to help me, right? To understand, to avoid silos. Hey, Margot. Hey, everybody. Amen. Facts ain't defamation. Shout out to BJ. I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Perfect. Yes. Look at you. No, y'all can be petty in the chat. You guys are open to your opinions. Hey, B Tim. Hey, Emily. Everybody coming through. Coco. I see Shauna B. Everybody. Thank you for being here. So let's talk about this video. We stopped at the 24-minute and 14-second mark. And hold up. I can hear myself talking. Let me mute that real quick. And I want us to review this, and we have a lot to review and a lot to talk about. And I want to just say this, I got lots and lots of emails. And it was very interesting how people have I'll wait for that commentary in a little bit. Let me go ahead and start right here. So yesterday we talked a little bit about this situation. We stopped at the 14-minute mark, and Aaron was just kind of getting into the meat of the letter, and kind of giving more context as to what he meant by, on this date or in this paragraph. So we're going to start right here. Okay.
This is what was such a big deal back in May. Okay. It is true that when they were asking for my resignation at that time, this was the article that they were pointing to, because it's the only thing in the paperwork that seemed to justify why they would ask for my resignation. So that is actually accurate. All right. They basically say that I voluntarily agreed to resign in 6 months. We negotiated it down to 3 months, And essentially, okay, so here we go. This gets to the core of the issue about, did they adopt a new ethical code or not? I'm terribly sorry I've already been going for 25 minutes, guys. I thought this whole video would be 15 minutes, but I'm going to make it through this. Okay. On August 26th, 2023, the foundation was notified by the state of Florida that a conflict of interest policy would be required in order to renew our license to operate as a nonprofit in Florida. The foundation was given 15 days to comply in order to continue its operations in Florida. Attorney and board member Ray Jeffrey drafted policies to comply with this requirement. On August 17th, the board members received and voted on the policies that were drafted. Now, guys, let me call something to your attention. I want to call to your attention that this letter says that what was needed was a conflict of interest policy, not a code of ethical conduct policy, just a conflict of interest policy. Okay. I should have gotten water. My mouth is dry as hell. Okay. On August 17th, the board members received and voted on the policies that were drafted. All members, including Aaron, confirmed receipt of this email as well as the proposed policies. Aaron expressed disagreement with these policies as required by the state of Florida. The board voted to accept and implement these policies by a quorum. Now, a quorum.
Now, I want to go back. He said, when he was reading the letter, he said that Aaron expressed disagreements. I don't even think he really did express it. I was thinking, I'm like, what did he disagree with in particular? No way. The creator of the SPTV banner has asked them not to use it anymore. Real, Carls? Are you sure? And I think that everybody is hoping that as well, right? I think resolve in all areas, right? Resolve for them, for Mike and Claire and Marc and them, right? The board, and right now too, right? Yes, I want us to remember that the focus is to save the victims of Scientology. 2 foundations is great. Let's work together to help the victims of Scientology. Right, Mama Dukes? Here's the deal. I was thinking about this because when Aaron talks at the very end of his video, he talks about the fact that, I might come back and respond because I'm X, Y, and Z and X, Y, and Z. And I honestly don't think that is, when somebody doesn't leave you a choice, sometimes that's what you have to do, right? When somebody doesn't leave you a choice, you have to come back and respond. But even when Aaron talked about his removal of the board, he didn't like point out things that you would think, well, dang, somebody else needs to respond. I mean, I guess the board was like, well, there's misrepresentations and fabrications, and I'm using their words, and lies. And I'm like, well, are there really? Because to me, it just sounds like it's just a lot of hurt feelings on both ends.
Implies, like if I was present and voted no, then the use of the word quorum would not be necessary. Quorum is when you have a minimum number of people present and voting. If we were all present and we were all asked to vote and everyone voted yes, but I voted no, they would not be saying that these policies were adopted by quorum. Quorum implies not everyone was present and not everyone voted. Okay, so let me show you something.
That's interesting.
This is the email, and look at the date. They said this was August 17th. This is the email. Let me see if I can make this any bigger. I cannot. Where Claire is circulating an email to everyone with policies for review, not for adoption, for review. Okay, I hope all is well. Claire says, as we've discussed in the past, Scientology continues to attempt to cause issues for the foundation by complaining about different states, about representations, and She says that Florida, this year, they are requiring that we provide a conflict of interest policy to complete our renewal. We've discussed the need for such a policy in the past. We just have never finalized or implemented one yet. Ray has drafted the attached documents. Please review and let me know if you have comments, input, revisions, or suggestions. What does this email not ask for?
Vote.
It does not ask for a vote.
It doesn't ask for a vote.
It does not say, please vote yes or no to adopt the attached policies. This email was only asking for comments and revisions. Okay, now let me show you something. We can see Ray Jeffrey's response.
And this is a great question. It's like, who created this? And why is this all being handled via email? It really should be in person, right? If y'all are, I would assume that this is something that you guys are creating together, not just one board member. I get it. He's an attorney, and maybe this is his area of expertise in the language and whatnot. And he's able to, try to, meet whatever deadline that needs to be met by Florida and whatnot. But why not just put everybody in the room and do this? This is an important thing, right? They're all over the US. Absolutely. True. I don't know who created the logo. I'm looking at Charles's comments real quick. And doing right by them, whether you have disagreements or not. Absolutely. So I guess my thought is a series of emails, is that enough for all of this to be created? It just seems like, especially if it's something that you vote on. I don't know. But I'm sure everybody's in different states. So, of course, this is a little bit different. Nowadays, everybody's on a Zoom call or whatever. So, yeah, keep that in mind.
He even says, these are in Microsoft Word, so you guys can make changes. I can go back to the drawing board if needed. Now, look, guys, there's two policies attached here, a conflict of interest policy and an ethical teamwork policy. Now, look, guys, the state of Florida was only asking for a conflict of interest policy.
That's right.
They weren't asking for an ethical code or agreement of teamwork principles policy. Okay. I never responded to this email asking for feedback. Okay. I just want to keep showing you. Amy Scobie says, this looks fine to me. Claire Christie says, this is good. Matt Pesh says, these look good to me. Marc says, this looks good to me. And then Mike suggests revisions. Mike suggests that not only should we not be able to disparage people who are working for the foundation, but we shouldn't even be able to disparage people who are doing things similar to the Aftermath Foundation.
So why are those revisions being added when all they're asking is for like edits, misspellings, commas, whatever? I guess I'm just confused by this. Are these things that are voted on, or are they just saying, no, make sure you add this part and make sure you add this part? See, that's the confusing part. So if I was the recipient of this email, I could see where I'm like, okay, sure, why not? They're not voting on this yet. This is just a draft document. At some point, we're going to meet together and we're going to review the document, right?
Now, that's fine. People can have whatever input that they want. I just want to point out to everybody, this email didn't ask for a vote. And this is the email that Marc, Mike, and Claire are now representing was a vote.
There
is no other later email that was sent around saying, here's the final draft, everybody. Give me your final yes or no. Now, I never responded to this email, but Claire did call me and ask me for feedback on this. And I said, I have no problem with the conflict of interest policy. I said, what I don't understand is why you've attached some new ethical code of conduct without even acknowledging in your email that it's been attached. And why is Ray even proposing an ethical code of conduct if that's not what Florida is asking us for? I don't understand why it's there.
This is a good question. Why was this asked of? Exactly. It doesn't call for a vote, and it doesn't say when a vote should take place. Absolutely. This is interesting. I don't know.
And it's way too broad. And I don't
It
think
is
I could ever
broad.
agree to it. After that phone call, Claire said, I totally understand. I'll ask Ray and I'll get back to you. I never heard anything else after that. Now,
My thing is okay, so Ray is drafting it, but Mike Rinder was the one that suggested it, right? Interesting.
evidence of what I'm saying, and Marc, Mike, and Claire, you have my permission to publish the portion of our board meeting 2 Sundays ago where Mike introduces the motion. I move to have Aaron removed from the board for violating our code of ethical conduct of agreeing not to disparage people who are engaged in work similar to the Aftermath Foundation for the video he published about Graham Barry. And I said, in the meeting, I said, wait, what are you talking about? When did we adopt that code of conduct? And they said, well, we adopted it a few months ago. I said, when? Well, oh, we circulated an email. And I said, I remember getting the email asking for feedback. I don't remember seeing an email asking for a vote. No one in the meeting, including Claire, the president, including Christy, the secretary, said, Aaron, what are you talking about? I've got the email right here where you voted no. No one challenged me in the meeting when I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. I didn't know we adopted the code of conduct. And if I had agreed to that, and if I knew those were the rules we were operating by, I obviously never would have done the video. And they said, we don't care. We don't care because that's not really why we're getting rid of you. We're getting rid of you for all the bullshit you've been putting us through for the last, 2 or 3 or 4 years now. And we're tired of people thinking that we're accountable for the shit you do and say. And that's what I wanted to show you guys. I wanted to show you guys it's not honest. I don't know why they are continuing to deny that what I said in my first video is true. I never said the only reason they wanted me gone from the foundation was because of my video about Graham Barry. I said that was the only official reason that Mike moved to have me removed. Of course, even in my own video, I said, well, guys, that was the official reason, but that's not the real reason. The real reason is they just don't want to be associated with me anymore. And that's where I go, being honest, me to you guys, I do feel that them saying, we don't want people to associate us with Aaron because we don't like the things he says and does. To me, those are personal issues. To me, it's not right to make those issues Aftermath Foundation issues.
If these people, and I say the board, and this is what I was thinking, I was like, well, what if there's like not imaginary members, but like it sounds, I mean, we have the website, so we know who the board members are, but it does sound like a lot of this is a conflict of personality, conflict issue going on. I mean, the thing that they have against, maybe there's certain things that Aaron says or does on this platform that people don't necessarily care for. Maybe they feel like because Aaron speaks about the foundation, it falls on the foundation or whatever the situation may be. And if that is the case, then why not hire somebody from the outside to help mediate some of that? Because I personally feel like somebody who co-founded the foundation, the VP, and the one that truly, at least for me, I never knew there was any issues within, wouldn't have really known. We really we would have been like, all right, cool, they separated, but like finding some type of a mediation or some type of a middle ground and allowing that third person to help, you know, get through those issues. That way, Aaron would feel better whether he stays or he leaves. Some of these friendships in that board, and that's the other issue, is these are friendships. One of the things that really is interesting to me is you have you have people that are married. He hasn't even said that, right? That's not part of the ethics. That's not an issue. But because he considers them friends, I'm assuming he's not going to point that out. He's just going to point out the fact that there's conflict in here. Absolutely. Ooh, let me see you guys' comments. Yeah, its meetings should be at least a Zoom. Calls to provide clear documentation. They can refer to meeting paperwork shared via emails. Exactly. No minutes no bylaws. I looked for them and I couldn't find them. Gotcha. Oh man, this is no good. And there can be members only section to protect privacy. You know, you could exactly. They could be members to protect. There could be members. Could there be members that we don't even know about? I don't know. You think Aaron is the social media face of the foundation? I mean, that I don't know. What do you guys think? I responded to Marc's post the other day explaining that this isn't really about Aaron. It's about a public nonprofit conducts their business. They don't get it. That is one piece that I don't. Okay, this isn't about whether they're best friends. That's not what this is about. If you are okay, if y'all, it was the here's the deal. They made the statement. After they made the statement, why release an email? They did the video on the YouTube channel. They posted the statement on the website. They posted the statement on the IG page. They posted the statement on the Twitter. And then Mr. Marc, I think, posted an email about how he wanted to make sure that Aaron understood it in his attempts. This was an email that he posted. Why? You already had the emails on the statement. Why would you, if you didn't have anything to defend, right? Then why keep trying to defend it? Why keep trying to justify a decision that you all made as a board? Is it just me who thinks that? I Yeah, well, one thing that is happening is they're losing subscribers because of this. It shows how much the people are not happy about what happened to Aaron. Well, I think part of it is you have people there that are, and shout out to all the subscribers, but I'm assessing that a lot of people here are people that have um, overcome trauma, right? Or are going through trauma. And I don't want to take that away. I think that that's a very important factor here. And so to see some of this play out online, to see people re-traumatize in a more of a board member type of way, that's not good. You have to get an outside source. It just seems to me that the foundation has siloed itself, right? And if you do that, you do more harm than good. Don't do that. I don't know. No, and you're absolutely right. I would have to agree with you on this comment. Losing subscribers isn't really important. YouTube is not where the battle is. Absolutely. I would agree with you to a certain extent. I think part of the thing too is that YouTube or whatever social media platform is definitely a way in which people get information, right? It's a powerful tool. Absolutely. Anyways, insulting your supporters out of the gate is yes, crass behavior. I would agree with you on that one.
And that's what I said in the meeting. And Marc, Mike, and Claire, you guys have my permission to publish the 30-minute Zoom meeting of the beginning of our last board meeting. If you guys are going to go up and say Aaron's lying, Aaron's misrepresenting the facts, you have my permission to publish the first 30 minutes of the last board meeting where we discussed all of this. Marc, you also have my permission to publish the email. You said you have the receipts. So if you have receipts that I don't have, you have my permission to publish the email where I voted no on this thing or
That's
whatever.
good. Nothing to hide, right?
Let me see. I feel like I'm rambling.
That's good.
Okay, I showed you the ethical thing. I showed you the bylaws, the conflict of interest. I showed you the email. Okay, let's go back. Let's just finish up a little bit on the letter. Oh, I'm getting all discombobulated over here. Let's go back to the letter, guys, and then we'll wrap this up. I'm sorry I'm taking so long on this. All board members received and voted on the policies that were drafted. So you guys can see that's an inaccurate statement. All board members did not receive and vote on the policies. I did not vote on anything. I did receive a copy of it. I did not vote on anything. The foundation was given in a phone conversation with board president Claire Headley. Aaron verbally stated he had no intentions to resign on the 4th of September. Guys, after this thing that happened in Los Angeles, the board basically they threatened to vote me off, and they said basically we'll give you a chance to resign, but if you don't resign, we're going to vote you off. And I said, if you vote me off, what kind of a message does that send? And I disagreed with the reasons for voting me off. But I said, guys, listen, we can either continue to argue about the reasons or we can put this to rest for the time being. If I say that I will step down 6 months from now. Can we at least table this conversation for right now? And they said, how about 3 months? I said, fine, 3 months. And then the attorney said, okay, good. I'm glad you guys came to an agreement on that. Aaron, please send us a letter saying I am resigning effective 3 months from now. Now, I never sent that letter. I woke up the next morning to an email from the board saying, we held an emergency meeting and we voted to accept your resignation. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that's adorable because I haven't submitted one.
That is, see, that this backdoor BS is not okay. That Renee, I'm so glad you said that. Like the most dangerous thing you can do here is silo people and then create echo chambers to this. I completely agree with your statement. That is interesting.
I agreed I will submit a resignation in 3 months. Then the lawyer asked me to put in a resignation. I didn't do it yet. And then 12 hours later, you voted to accept my resignation. But I said, okay, pick your battles. I'm not fighting this battle right now.
Oh my gosh.
But then I did have conversations with Claire where I said, Claire, look, I know that technically on the books, you guys have my resignation effective September 4th. And technically, my resignation will become effective if you guys just do nothing. Like, you guys don't have to make another motion. You guys just have to do nothing, and my resignation will be effective. I said, I want you to know from me to you, it is my goal to do everything in my power in the next 3 months so that by the time that deadline comes around, you guys all want me to stay on the board and that you will introduce a motion to keep me on the board. Because I intend to make it clear to you guys how important it is for me to continue to be on this board with you guys. And, you know, we shed some tears together and she said, I agree. And that's what I want as well. And I thought,
wow. See this, oh man, but clearly there was some unresolved feelings here. Clearly.
Everything was going swimmingly. And then a couple weeks before my resignation was to be effective, I did call Claire. And I said, Claire, I'm worried that I'm about to be snowballed by people who are supposed to be my friends.
Oh
and
my
I said,
God.
if you do not intend on keeping me on the board 2 weeks from now, please tell me now, and I will voluntarily, publicly resign.
Okay, let me stop right here. Aaron said something right here that was a red flag for me when he said something, I'm about to get railroaded by people that are supposed to be my friends. Do you guys think, and those that have been on boards, how often are you on a board with a friend, a best friend? I really, really hope that the Aftermath Foundation and whatever, and of course, Aaron doesn't have to listen to anything that I say. Of course, this is just a suggestion that they bring somebody that is not, I mean, you can't help, who you befriend. Don't get me wrong. But this sounds to me like, there's a trauma bond. Let's just be real, right? There's trauma bonding that happens. Very easy to trauma bond with somebody that can relate with you. So, in order for there to be any type of like really good boundaries or understanding or even set expectations, like Aaron, you're going to answer to these emails that so and so sent on this day. You're going to, at least respond to, are you okay with it? You know what I'm saying? There needs to be something like a boundary, like an expectation where this is the line, right? It is a small, right? It's a very small community, but like any else small community, don't silo yourself, right? Because you need people to be able to pluck you out of really bad things, really bad behaviors, or things that they might notice. So this is to me, I was like, they're your friends, and this is a board, and be careful with that moving forward because friends make decisions based off of making sure that y'all, I mean, maybe they could be friends at some point. He says that they're not friends anymore after this, but you never know, right? But at least a stranger, a board member, I just don't know if as a supervisor I can fire my best friend, right? And that is this is a hard thing, right? Can you supervise? And I've seen that time and time again where supervisors or managers or leaders, directors, they put in positions friends or somebody that they've worked with for many, many years and they're so close, right? They go to lunch, they go to, kids' baby showers and cookouts and Thanksgiving dinners, and then somebody's got to lay the law and it feels weird because you don't want to hurt your friend. When does a friend, like when do you step out of that and say, well, now I'm a leader in this board, and to benefit the board I have to make this decision, even though it hurts you, And that's a hard thing to do, especially when there's trauma bond going on. Too much trauma bond. Yes. Yes. I resigned. Here we go. Hold up. I resigned for a major problem for my members. I wouldn't go along with it, and I did it without dragging everyone's name through the mud. See, and some people can do that, right? Some people can do that, but it becomes toxic.
I said, I'm doing everything in my power to be on my best behavior, show you guys that I understand how careless I've been, prove to you guys that I've changed my ways. Please keep me. Please don't get rid of me.
Oh,
And, but I'm getting the feeling I'm about to be snowballed by you guys. So if you're going to do that, give me a heads up so I can resign with dignity. And she never got back to me. And so when Marc says, look at this statement from Aaron, quote, So I'm sorry, I'm still being long-winded about this, but I feel it's appropriate, guys. When I had this conversation with Claire, I said, look, it's very, very important to me to continue to serve on the foundation. And I want to make it clear from me to you that I'm not just sitting here being ultra defensive and I'm right and you guys are wrong and I've never done anything. I was like, I want you to know that I do see that I've been careless. And after I've been reading these OSA programs of how OSA will send people in on someone like me, send people in to start relationships with people and then use those relationships to try to damage and harm and hurt the person and put them in dangerous situations.
Wow.
I said, I will never put myself in that situation again. Now, in that conversation, in my mind, I'm going, if Claire understands what's in my heart, then Claire, as the president, not from me, but from her, will go to the board and say, okay, guys, look, I've resolved things with Aaron and I am moving to keep him on the board. That was my goal in that conversation. Now, at the end of that conversation, Claire said, okay, great. Can you put something in writing about this for me? And I was like, oh, so now I've got to go begging. Now I've got to go begging to the board. And I'm thinking to myself, Claire, if you don't want to keep me, then this is an uphill battle that I'm not sure I want to fight. And so even though I told her I would put something in writing, I dragged my feet for a couple of weeks and I didn't because I was pissed off. I was pissed off that I was being asked to come and beg. So when Marc, Mike, and Claire chose to publish this excerpt from an internal Aftermath Foundation email from me, this is a very Scientology-esque move, okay? Quoting an internal email that I had to send to Claire in an effort to beg for their forgiveness and their acceptance. And I'll read that email one more time. Quote, I never sent you anything after our last phone call last Sunday. And I said that I would. To summarize, I recognize that my judgment and decision-making in my personal life has been quite careless over the past 5 years or so, considering the level of scrutiny and potential menace from OSA. One might think this would have been obvious to me before now, but it truly was not. What happened in Los Angeles, and also reading these OSA programs for the first time, has been a massive eye-opener for me. I assure you, I will not expose myself to such risk or put myself in a similar position in the future. It then says, on September 3rd, guys, this is one day before my resignation was to become effective. On September 3rd, in light of his stated commitment, the board voted that Aaron remain a member. That is a false statement. In light of that email that I sent, the board was still very much committed to kicking me off. It was Leah Remini who had to personally intervene with phone calls to Claire and Mike to say, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Shout out to Leah. Look at that. Man, that lady. And this is why, like, shout out to her. Seriously.
How can you still be trying to get rid of Aaron after everything you guys were afraid of has come and gone and it had not the slightest effect on Aaron or the Aftermath Foundation? How fucking stupid are you guys to still be trying to push this through? It was only because of Leah Remini's intervention that the board members were basically shamed into keeping me. They did not want to keep me. And I was well aware of that. This is what I mean, guys. And when I said in my first video, this has kind of been a toxic relationship that I was never going to leave. I truly felt that I would not be able to survive reputationally if I were kicked off of this board by these people who the world thinks are some of my closest friends. I didn't think I could survive that. And that's why I was now embarrassingly, humiliatingly doing everything in my power to prevent that.
All right, let me stop right here. And I know a good percentage of you in this chat would agree with you. How many of you guys have stayed in situations where like you're trying your best, whether it's a relationship or maybe it's a business or whatever it may be, you stay in situations because you feel like anything that comes, if it ends, anything that comes out of, can't be good for you, right? I felt that. And this is where I have felt, whether it's a friendship, a relationship, a community, a business. How often? Yes, D. Hey, Johnson. Hey, everybody coming through. Hey, Flash, everybody. Sorry I didn't greet everybody. Hey, Johnny Crack. But how often? Think about it. Hey, Pika. How often has it happened where you stay and you're working your ass off? Sometimes it's as simple as being at a job, right? It's a position. It doesn't serve you anymore. There is a season of pruning, and I don't want to get biblical with anybody, right? Because y'all can praise whatever you want. Neither here nor there. Whatever it may, whatever you believe, right? But there's a season and a time to prune, right? You gotta, and I love Dr. Hendrik Cloud, who says, um, there's a season, like if you think about florists and gardeners and pruning roses, you have to pluck what is dead out. You have to cut the whatever is bruised out of there in order for there to be a successful bud, because otherwise you stay stuck. And this is a hamster wheel that this man Aaron was going through. And sometimes you miss your blessings if you don't get the hell out there. You truly do. You don't know what's out there. He's talking about a new foundation. Who knows? Who knows what's going to come out of there, right? That is one thing that we can learn from this situation is don't be afraid to prune. Don't be afraid to kill off what's dead. Sometimes it's more of a blessing than you know, right? I love that he recognized this, because I think it's whether he realizes it or not, this is growth. This is what you call growth, of being afraid of, what is everybody going to say? What is it going to mean? Well, look at all the people that are supporting. Look at all the people that are noticing. Mm,
And I tried to appeal to reason. I tried to go, what are you guys doing? How do you guys think that this is going to happen? And we're just not supposed to say anything? And guys, I shit you not. Back in December, when, not December, I'm sorry, May, back in May, 6 months ago, when they said they were going to kick me off, I said, what do you think people are going to think? What do you think people are going to think about this? And they said,
exactly.
no, Aaron, we love you. We're not going to tell anyone that we're kicking you off. We're not going to say anything. We're not going to make an announcement, and you don't have to either. And I said, you're going to kick me off the board to protect the board from people thinking that I have anything to do with you, but you're not going to tell anyone? What are you talking about? And they said, yeah. It's just that the next time you fuck up and someone comes to us complaining, we just want to be able to say, guys, he's not on the board. He hasn't been on the board for a while. And I still fought to stay on. I thought that me staying on the board, I was like, I thought I was advocating for what would be best for the foundation.
What is so crazy to me is that it's my understanding that Scientology defames its ex-members, right? Like they have this thing about defaming your character, calling you an abuser. I mean, I remember when I was watching the aftermath, Mike Rinder having to fight a lot of that kind of narrative. A lot of people that worked in the organization had to has had to fight some defamation, right? Leah is, an example of that. A lot of people have to fight defamation when they are leaving the church. So you survive. So as a survivor, you still have to fight that defamation, even with those that you're close with, that also survived and that are surviving. That's sad. That needs a lot of remedy there.
What's remarkable to me is that they thought what would be best for the foundation is to kick me off, but not tell anyone. How's that good? Anyway, let's wrap up the last piece of this. So it says on September 3rd, in light of his stated commitment, the board voted that Aaron remain a member. On November 6th, okay, I also want to say something. If they voted to keep me on the board on September 3rd, then guys, the way I see it, nothing that's mentioned in this letter prior to September 3rd even matters. If they're like, Aaron's got a history of being a total piece of shit. Well, guys, you voted to keep this piece of shit on the board on September 3rd. So nothing you say prior to September 3rd is particularly relevant to why you kicked Aaron off the board.
Wow.
And that's why I say the reason for well, they're about to say it right here. So here's the last sentence. On November 6th, Aaron again violated the agreed upon code of foundation agreed upon conduct. Wait, on November 6th, Aaron again violated the agreed upon conduct of foundation board members. And on November 8th, he was asked to resign, but refused to do so. Do you guys see how this letter has intentionally tried to conflate the original bylaws of the foundation with the code of conduct that they adopted without my knowledge only 10 or 11 weeks earlier? Do you see that they have actually tried to perpetuate this lie that they did not, in fact, adopt a new code of conduct, and that violating that code of conduct by doing a video about Graham Barry was, in fact, the reason I was removed from the board? Do you see how everything I said in my original video was actually true? And yet they've tried to act, they've tried to say I was lying the whole time. I was not lying. What I said was 100% honest. They knew that everything they mentioned in this letter prior to November 3rd, in order for me to defend myself against it, would require me to openly discuss the one thing about my private life I've refused to discuss.
And you shouldn't have to.
I'm willing to be shamed and humiliated by Scientology. I don't give a shit about Scientology. I'm not willing to be shamed and humiliated by Marc, Mike, and Claire. That's what it comes down to.
Wow.
There's one last line in here that I have to address. Okay. The board agreed and discussed with Aaron that it would not be beneficial to anyone other than Scientology for.
And let me just say, yes, I have received I've received numerous emails, all right? I have received links to this and links to that, and I do not give a rat's ass about what this man did. He came into my comments and he actually answered some of the questions that you guys had left in the comments. I pinned one of the comments. You guys have to review the comments from the previous videos. He talked about the attorney that he spoke about, how he's never, he's just an attorney, right? He talked about other stuff that people were asking about his legal stuff. I don't care, because that wasn't contingent upon what, him being on the board. No, I don't care. But it seems to me that everybody on that board has a target on their back by this church. So should everybody be careful? Absolutely, right? Absolutely. But why are we going to give so much power to an entity that everybody's trying to move on from, right? And you're also trying to help others move on from. I don't care what this man does or who or what. His sexuality is nothing. Even that was brought up. I said, I don't care. People were emailing me about that. I said, I don't give a shit. This isn't about that. I don't care. I don't care. Why should anybody let this man do what he does? I don't care. Shondell, thank you for being a member for a month. I mean, to me, that sounds very cultish to even pay attention to shit like that.
Any of this to be aired in public. That is a bald-faced lie. For anyone who knows me, do you think I would ever agree to be forcibly removed from an organization I co-founded and to agree to never speak of it in public? Marc, Mike, and Claire, I once again give you my permission to publish any portion of the interview, the portion of the meeting from 2 Sundays ago, any portion of that meeting where we discussed not revealing any of this in public. That is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
Absolutely.
And yet I took 8 days to say anything. And when I did say something, I didn't attack any of you. Now, it's impossible to describe accurately the events that led to my removal without saying things that people are going to take negatively. But I didn't trash any of you. And I applauded the Aftermath Foundation, and I applauded the work the foundation has done and will continue to do. And I encourage people to continue to support the foundation. And you guys saw my entire video and then chose how to respond the next day. And people didn't like your response. And I still said nothing. There was plenty in your response. You guys responded a lot for saying you weren't going to respond.
And that is fact. Shout out to Ken, because he's not in the chat, but he pointed that out. It's very true. They said a lot without saying a lot, right? They said a lot without responding. They said a lot with their own body language. Thank you, Johnny. If it's not directly relevant to the foundation, the fiscal situation, the matters, whatever situation may be there, then it's not relevant at all. It does not matter what this man does or doesn't do. He said it before, right? He said, I don't have to share my experience, but I do. And I hope that he continues to do so. Actually, I hope that they all continue to do so. Yes, shout out to Mr. Ken. Okay. I hope that they all continue to share their experiences. Not just Aaron, but Mike, but Claire, all of them. And that they continue to empower people. but let this be a lesson, a learning lesson, right? This is something that I think we could all learn from.
And there was plenty for me to come back at if I wanted to. And I said
Mhm.
nothing. And just days later, you guys go from saying, we're not going to say anything. We're not going to attack someone that we love. We're going to move on. And then you went and published private information, internal records that you thought would put me on my heels, silence me, shame me, humiliate me, and silence me. Guys, the fact that you did that just because your subscriber numbers are plummeting faster than Scientology's membership, I got to be honest, I find it disgusting. I find it disgusting. And your response did not help anything. And I know a lot of people will say, well, Aaron, this 47-minute video you're doing isn't helping anything. Guys, I have a platform that, to me, the success of it depends on my viewers seeing me as being open, honest, humble if possible, forthcoming, natural, not conspiring to keep secrets, to protect images.
Absolutely.
I've been terrified about what would happen if I got kicked off this board.
And you can't tell people how to respond. This is the interesting part. You can't tell. It's out of your control. I can't. If somebody does a video on me, I can't tell them what to say or not to say. That is their video. That is their issue, not mine. Not mine. It's out of my control. I have a lot of people that do videos on me. I have a lot of people that troll me, and I sit there and I eat my food until I'm ready. And if I want to address it, I will. Right? But you can't tell people how to respond, and you can't tell people what to say. And all of this has been very public, right? So we're allowed to have a public reaction about it, myself included, especially if Aaron or Mike Rinder or whatever other channel I have followed for quite some time, I feel like warrants a response. Nobody can tell anybody how to respond. People try to control situations way too much. And you're absolutely, a lot of this, thank you so much, Pika, for reminding me. This is so Cardi B warranted right now. Let me play this.
I had a reason.
What was the reason?
I had a reason.
What was the reason?
I had a reason.
What was the reason?
I just explained the reason.
What was the reason, bitch?
I don't need to explain myself to you. And
what was the reason?
What was the reason? What was the reason for all of this? Let me play this.
And the board members know it. And it's been a way for them to control what I do or say. And it's only been however many days it's been, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 11, 12 days. I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
As it should.
I was terrified I could not survive the reputational damage of my so-called friends ousting me from an organization everyone knows I love. I didn't think I could survive that. I now see that I can. That is a huge weight off of my shoulders. Big time. The outpouring of support from the tens of thousands of you. By the way, special welcome to all you keyboard warriors tuning in today.
Shout out to the keyboard
all
warriors.
You special SP and you keyboard warriors out there.
Drop the keyboards in the chat.
So, trying to silence and shame and humiliate and selectively publish something from here and there, that's what Scientology does. And again, guys, I sort of shake my finger at you for starting to walk down that slippery slope of publishing internal emails. Because if I wanted to be nasty and I wanted to be an asshole and I wanted to have a big, public drag out fight or whatever, there's a lot of emails I could publish that would make you guys look 10 times worse than me. And I'm not going to do that. And I hope that this is the last. I hope what you guys published yesterday will be the last that you guys publish. Because even though I'm saying I'm not going to do that, you guys know me. I'm an emotional son of a bitch. And if you guys keep trying to threaten me and threaten people who support me, I'm not going to promise that I won't do something stupid, because
you have to do what you have to do. Stop having however you want to respond. You respond, sir, ma'am, anybody.
I'm a guy who will sometimes do something stupid.
Hell yeah.
I'm just saying this is intended to be my final statement on this.
As long as it's not harming someone.
Said, I responded factually. I haven't trashed any of you,
exactly.
Other than the fact that pointing out to the world that you guys are trying to trash me. I encourage people to continue to support the Aftermath Foundation if you choose to. Why do I say that? Because it's not rocket science. The Aftermath Foundation is not some sensitive, amazing, pristine thing that must be protected and can never be. Guys, it's not rocket science. It's why I'm creating another foundation. A foundation requires people who are not afraid of Scientology, are impervious to being fair gamed, have the ability to raise money, and know how to put it to work effectively. It doesn't matter if the Aftermath Foundation board members are good people, moral people, live in line with traditional spiritual values. It doesn't matter what foundation board members do in their private lives.
Exactly.
The foundation's not there to set a good example for Scientologists on how to live or have healthy, successful marriages. They're there to stand up to Scientology, raise money, put that money to work helping people.
Exactly.
This
That's it.
idea that somehow the foundation as an entity is more sensitive and valuable than the people on the board is just sort of a weird, twisted idea. It's sort of a Scientology way of thinking. Oh my God, you must not criticize anybody because the foundation might suffer. Aaron, you must not tell anybody that we kicked you off because the foundation might suffer. We are the foundation. We are the foundation.
There you go.
It's sort of a silly concept.
And that is important. You are the foundation. That's well said. Absolutely, Miss Dawn. There you go. What is it that you said last time, Rabbit? Don't become the thing you hate. Absolutely. Don't become the thing you hate. Don't apply the things that were done to you. Even though and I hate, like, there's a lot of people that will hate you, right? And I know that if given the chance, you're just like, if I could do it this way, and if I could do, and it's just like, nah, man. But if it hurts you, because what is it that they say too? Hurt people hurt people. Yeah, hurt people, right? Keep that in mind.
I got to tell you guys, back on 6 months ago during this whole May debacle, even Ray Jeffrey, the Aftermath Foundation's board member attorney, said, guys, I'm a little confused. What does any of this have to do with the foundation?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, guys, Aaron hasn't actually done anything wrong here. And if you're saying his character is so bad, I'm paraphrasing, but I'm being extraordinarily accurate. And if someone wants me to show the emails, I'll show the emails, but I'm not going to do that for now because that's not the point. He said, and if we want to get rid of it, the attorney said this, if we're trying to get rid of Aaron because of something he's done, he said, I got to go on the record. Aaron hasn't done anything here. Aaron hasn't been proven to have done anything wrong here.
There you go.
He goes, but if that's not why we're getting rid of him, then the only other reason we would be getting rid of him is that his character is so poor and toxic that the foundation cannot survive associating with him. And the attorney said, but I'm confused because you guys associate with him in your public lives and your personal lives.
Exactly.
Aaron's one of your friends. He goes, I'm a little confused as to how you can say the foundation cannot survive being associated with Aaron, but you guys can. He goes, how can you be okay with publicly associating with him as a friend and an ally, but you're not okay with associating with him on the foundation? He said, I don't get it. They never responded to that question from him.
And that is a valid question. Why haven't they answered that question? That's a valid question. Unless you're a fake fraud and a phony, and then you play like, oh, everything's good. Hi, Aaron, how you doing? But we just don't want to be seen over here with you. And yet you have a board with married couples. Okay.
I think it's interesting to note that at our board meeting where I was voted off, the attorney did not come to the meeting.
Of course.
He was not present at the meeting. I'm not saying he would have voted in my favor because I'm guessing that he didn't like the fact that I did a video crapping on another attorney who does work helping former Scientologists. So I'm not saying Ray would have voted for me. I'm saying Ray knew what our meeting was about and Ray was supposed to be there. And for the first 10 minutes of our meeting, we sat there in awkward silence waiting for Ray to show up while Claire called him and other people texted him. And it wasn't until everyone was very sure Ray wasn't coming that we carried on with the meeting. I just found that to be interesting. So guys, this is my final statement on it. A lot of this at this point, or continuing to talk about it at this point, would be crying over spilled milk. It's all water under the bridge. Yeah. I've been set free. The bald eagle is free to fly. I'm not going to pretend like there's not hard feelings. Guys, we're talking about interpersonal relationships. We're talking about emotional shit. There are hard feelings. Let me be clear about this. I don't consider Mike and Marc and Claire to be my friends. What am I going to lie about that? They're not my friends. Despite them pretending otherwise, Marc is literally threatening people behind the scenes who've done videos supporting me. Marc, I think your behavior is disgusting.
That is crazy. I heard. Oh my God.
And that's just the way it is, guys. This is real life. I don't need the Aftermath Foundation to have meaning. And I thought that I did. But I do enjoy using my platform in a way that makes David Miscavige's life a living hell every single day. And to me, the best way I know how to do that is to start another foundation that I can put my efforts into without feeling like I'm empowering people who I feel betrayed me. Now, I know that's a little egotistical, but okay, if that's egotistical, then I'm being egotistical. Guys, I look back on how we announced the foundation back in the day, and we didn't publicly announce the foundation until after the IRS had already granted the foundation tax exemption. And that took about 12 weeks.
That's crazy.
So it is my hope that in about 12 weeks, I will be able to announce another new foundation that will help people who are leaving Scientology with an emphasis, not just on people who are leaving, but on all the members who've been out for years, an emphasis on education, an emphasis on job training and recovery. And I think it will be fantastic. And I think it will be awesome. It's a little awkward having to do this video on Thanksgiving, but honestly, one of the reasons I did is because I want to get back to the regularly scheduled programming.
Yes.
And I just feel that if I did other videos before putting this issue to rest, that I would seem like I'm being evasive or trying to avoid what was published about me.
And and I'm going to stop right here. And of course, I'm glad that, I just saw that he posted a video back to the regular, content. I am very, very much happy that, he's going to start a new foundation. And all you can do is just pick up and move on, right? And do what you have to do. Continue to speak, of course. And I'm not going to say I'm a little disappointed at the behavior all around, right, from everybody, but that's just my opinion. And I hope that Aaron learns from this situation. I hope that he brings members that he finds of value. And of course, I hope that he brings outsiders, right? So that this foundation doesn't become too siloed or to this or to that, that people aren't able to say what they feel and speak, right? That's just my thought on that. Yes, yes. Thank you for saying that, Case. I did shout them out earlier. You guys make sure you check out Sterling's channel. And is it Relatable Reese? Another one. Lifeboat is another one as well. Shout out to them, okay? I'm not the expert of this topic, but I wanted to give you guys my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Ooh, please cover the Claire statement video. Don't want to give her the click. When did she give a statement? Is this separate from what we've already covered, Terry? Is there more now? Lord have mercy. And we just started. Are you serious? Hold up. I don't think the last video they did was the one on the what happened. That's about it. Is there another statement? I'm reading. Yeah, I haven't seen another video. It's Claire reading the state. Claire was reading the statement on the Aftermath channel. Is that what you're talking about? Hold up. Hold up, hold up. Aftermath Foundation channel. It must be a very small channel too, don't you think? Give me one sec. Here it is. I think I found it. Is this the one? She read the statement? Oh, she did. Hold up. This one? This one, right?
My name is Claire Headley. I am board president of the Aftermath Foundation. The board of directors has prepared the following letter to respond to recent events. Here
I
it
got to
is.
speed it up. We already know what the letter
events of
says.
the last few days have left a lot of people with questions. We apologize for the upset and confusion this created. We realize we need to provide more information about the history and recent changes that have happened within the foundation.
This one.
The Aftermath Foundation was formed in December 2017 by the following founding members: President Luis Garcia, Vice President Aaron Smith-Levin, Secretary Christy Colburn, Treasurer Claire Headley, board members Mike Rinder, Ray Jeffrey, and Marc Headley. On May 23rd, 2023, several board members were alerted to misconduct by Aaron Smith-Levin.
Can I just say that they probably should have done this way before anything? Oh my
The
God.
next few days, the board discussed this matter and what to do,
All
including
right.
reviewing his history of incidents of misconduct that had been brought to the attention of board members previously. Two of these included law enforcement involvement. The board considered asking Aaron to voluntarily resign.
Why do you think they read the statement? I feel like the statement came in way too late. Is it just me? Tazzy, thank you for being a member for 8 months. It is horrible. It's AI generated. Mercy. Jeez. Oh Lord. I did speed it up because we already know what the statement says. Even this the whole thing sounds off. I'm just gonna stop. Look. Speed it up and mask up the attitude. Lord have mercy. You guys are horrible. Well, shout out to you. I see what you're saying. She looks like she's ready for my hostage video. Oh man. No, this is that letter is already, it's the one that they released. That's all it is. It's a release letter. They're just reading it and she did it on camera. No feelings. I'm sure it says a lot, right? It says a lot. Thank you, Summer, for being a member. Yes, I did see that. Did you see Marc's email he posted? I did, and I thought that was pretty. You don't. This is how, and I had said this before. You don't post a statement and then post an email. It almost sounds like they feel a little guilty about how everything went down. That's what it seems like to me. It gives like guilt vibes. That's all. Anyways, I will let you guys go because I gotta go tend to baby bunny. Yeah, he wanted to allude to something. Yes, he did. He did. But it wasn't, it should have been enough at the statement. He didn't stop there. So it's either that or it's either he feels guilty. That's how I see it. I don't think they wanted this to go this way, but they didn't handle it very well. That's all. I will see you guys on the next one. I gotta go tend to baby bunny, giving some commentary. You let me know about this whole situation. If there's something that resonated with you that I said, a lot. We'll see how all of this plays out, and hopefully it plays out a little bit different. Okay. And again, support whomever. Don't think that I am no expert in this. I'm just giving commentary. I'll see you guys on the next one. You guys have a great rest of your day. Please be safe out there because there's a lot of people going shopping right now. Be safe. All right. Rabbits out. Bye, guys.